a sense of community when you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me.
Hello, everyone. Well, it's time for another interview. This one is an exciting one, at least I think so. My guest is the president and CEO at Terrasol Energy International, Inc. And he's here to explain what that is. Time to meet Derrick Garland. Welcome to the show, Derrick.
Thank you very much.
So
it's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, I'm really happy to have you here. So what does Terrasol Energy International, what is it? What does it do?
Terrasol is a company that manufactures sustainable photoelectric canopies for the Caribbean market, as well as South China Sea, anywhere in between the two tropics of the world that experiences extreme weather situations. So this canopy is designed to survive hurricanes. It's not a after the fact thing. This provides 365 power to homes and businesses, hotels, hospitals, police stations around the world that are in this pattern of being completely destroyed and then having to rebuild. So what we do is we will install one of these canopies, and they will then generate revenue that goes out onto the grid. So they have our ROI is actually quite good. And then in the case of a severe hurricane or another tropical storm that kind of eliminates the grid, they don't have to rely on diesel generators or anything that could be trying to replace the electrical grid for them until they need it, until they can get back online.
Right.
So
wow,
this is a stopgap for severe weather events, that kind of thing.
Now you designed it, correct?
Yes, myself and a few engineers from UBC in Kelowna. We went through the process of picking the material. Originally started completely as carbon fiber, and then we decided over COVID that maybe perhaps we should try and find a sustainable material that would actually work a little bit better in the long run, bring the prices down,
Right.
Which we've managed to do. Keeping it Category 5 hurricane resilient is the big one, especially for situations like right now off of Acapulco. Here we have a severe Category 5 hurricane that just came ashore.
Right.
And now people are obviously hurt. There's going to be the power grid is out, clearly. We have storm surge. So the hurricanes act like a large vacuum, and they bring the ocean up with them, and they bring all that water ashore. And what happens, all the like generators, like in Japan, that kind of thing,
yeah,
where once you have water on shore and it's got into the electrical components, now you're really done. Now you really have problems. And this is kind of an ongoing thing, and the majority of the real damage is after the fact. So
right.
the week or two following an event like this, you're really going to have problems trying to get fuel, food, just water. Just drinking water is a big problem.
Right.
So this canopy is designed not only to be hurricane Category 5 resilient, but it's also to be completely submersible. So this can be right underwater, no problem. It's 14.5 feet high. It can be completely submerged and then still survive.
Wow.
And it'll produce electricity as soon as it comes out, and then off it goes. So it has electricity for communication. It has electricity for making water, running either desalination water makers or air to water type of condensing units. any type of lighting, communication, that type of anything that you could use electricity for in EMS.
So how did it come about that you even thought of making or designing that?
I used to, back a few years ago, I used to supply Cabo and also the Bahamas with solar panels. And this is the early stages of Terrasol, where I would export solar panels out of the US. And I was actually wiped out in both cases, in the Bahamas and a hurricane that hit Cabo back in 2014. So the big problems then were, instead of just resupplying solar panels to roofs of houses that are just going to be destroyed again,
Right.
let's have a look at what the real issue is and build from that. So this is where the canopy had many forms throughout its design stages, and anchors, different sizes, different heights. And we kept finding that, if it's going to be truly sustainable and truly hurricane resilient, then it has to be in a certain design and not building mounted.
Right. So how long did it take to design it, to get the final product?
I started really looking at it in 2015. In 2017, it was ready to go to Winnipeg, and we settled on a composite material that was at that time it was carbon fiber. And the reason why we went to Winnipeg was that there was wind tunnels available. There was another big composite manufacturing company there that could tackle this because it's quite large.
Right.
So we looked at a number of different things in not only going there, but the 2 years in between of, how is this thing going to look? What's going to happen to the material? So we looked at ultraviolet light. Is that going to be a problem? How do we overcome that for this composite material? We looked at different metals. We looked at aluminum. We looked at stainless steel. We looked at, and during our market research throughout everywhere, we looked at everything. Even, aluminum is going to corrode. There's nothing that you can anodize it, but it's still, in a situation like this, it's still very difficult. Stainless steel, any kind of carbon-based steel is not very good. It will rust. High salt environments is a real problem. So now we looked at, how else are we going to get around this design, that needs to stay Category 5 hurricane resilient. We're going to have a material that doesn't corrode. It's got to last 20, 25 years minimum, and we have to keep the costs fairly low. Right. So
this is what it looks like. Oh, the lighting is not so good. I'm trying to show the audience so they can see what it looks like.
Oh yeah. No, that's our test pieces. So we take the composite and we cut it into, we have different layups of different strips that are what we call coupons, and that's on the roof of the engineering building at UBC in Kelowna, and they're absorbing sunlight and water, and just basically let out into the environment to be completely at under its own. And the different test pieces that we have will show us which way is the best way to go. We have this much percentage of this type of material along with this type of material, or this type of weave, or this type of bonding agent, or this type of the variables are numerous, and believe me, it's taken years to develop, but it's come out as a fairly robust material that we could easily build boats or whatever out of it as well. But this is where we go down this road.
Right. Yeah. Now, okay. So now you got your final product. Now you have to get a patent, right?
So we've along the line, we've not only patented the material it's being used in an unconventional situation. So there's that type of patent. there's a process patent, so you can, it's the way that you manufacture something is a patentable process as well. Our IP goes from not only the material, but through the manufacturing process and up until you have a final, and how composition wise it's put together.
Right.
So we have all three. We've applied through the US. So in Santa Clara, we have all our patent applications down there,
Okay.
which cover Canada as well. But
Oh, that does. Okay. Right. So
US patents are the US patents were the most important for us beginning.
Oh, okay. Okay. So now somebody in the Caribbean or wherever wants your product, right? And you're going to be shipping it to them. Does this all come in sections?
Yes. Yeah, it all comes apart. I'm not sure if you have another photo handy.
Just have that
but
one. Yeah.
You just have that one. Okay. Let me see if I can find a little bit better one for your audience.
As I was looking through your photos, but that's the only one you have it on your
yeah. We don't really like to put a lot of stuff out there because it's kind of one of those, we're trying not to be too, we don't want to give away too much.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So this is kind of a,
yeah, okay. So it breaks down into sections.
I'm not sure if you can see it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I see it above the car there. Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of the, that's what it looks like. So the four legs that hold it up. And then the top part are step beams. So we have the four pieces that come up are tusk-like kind of things. And we have those four are the strong parts of the whole thing. And they're designed to hold the thing down. We actually, in our wind tunnel testing, we have major issues about the thing wanting to take off all the time. Right. So holding it down is the big one. Then it has two cross beams, and then it has a bunch of step beams, and then it has trays on top of that hold the solar panels onto that. It comes completely apart, but when it's put together, it's pretty strong. It's quite something. I'm pretty surprised. Yeah, but really cool. It's designed to flex. Clearly, anything that was designed to stay solid would just rip itself apart. It does have some movement to it, but we stayed with the aesthetically pleasing type of design to be in parking lots, because through our marketing research, we found that the hotels didn't want anything on the roof. They wanted something they could put by the pool, or they could put something in the parking lot or whatever. And of course, then the height was then an issue. Everything had to fit underneath it. And then if it was going to be in the parking lot, then it had to be over 14.5 feet high so that trucks could get under it. And this was like for delivery trucks and, whatever. So that was a big one. Right. The design always kept going back to the marketing research on how do we need this? How does it have to work? So that always came back as being an issue then. And now we have a bigger problem. It has to be another foot higher, or it has to be whatever. So it had the aesthetic part of it was very important. And we didn't take it lightly, and nor did we take anything lightly on this. It was quite something from the beginning. Right.
So, okay. So is there something similar, like here we don't get, at least in my area, we don't get hurricanes or, but is there something similar that would work in areas where there's tornadoes or is that the same thing anyway? Like,
oh yeah, there's definitely similar. We do have competition for sure. It's not
but I was thinking about with you solely stick to this, right? To this item?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And the reasons are many. But they all fit together. They're they're like we can cover a parking lot with 100 of them they all fit together. Electrically, they're all electrically sound. They pass their certifications, and how they look inside is not really, I can't give that away either, but it's the design is such that the competition for us is mainly lower to the ground. They're very much different. They don't use this material, and they're designed to be lightweight and cheap. So if they do get hit, then it's not a big cost, relatively speaking.
Right.
Now, as years go on, like in 20, 25 years, this cost for them is going to increase exponentially, where ours is, our cost is definitely linear. It's, they're a little bit more expensive than most, but you know for sure that this thing is going to survive, and you are going to have fresh water, lights, communication. I mean, you can talk to the web, through the cloud. You can, anything that you would normally put through any type of electrical thing around your house to communicate with or to make happen can be made with its limitations, right? It only makes so much power, so you're not going to run your stove or your oven or whatever.
Right.
Air conditioning is still, you need a number of these to make your air conditioning work. They still have those kind of limitations of solar panels, because solar panels inherently are only so efficient.
Right.
So the only way to get around that, if you're going to have larger loads, is to just get more of them. That's the way it works.
Okay. So do you have to date, do you have many of them out there set up?
Well, we don't like to let that out of the bag.
Okay.
But
I'm just curious. Yeah, I understand. But you have some.
Yeah, it's and it's ongoing. It's we're looking for different manufacturers. Prototype that we've designed and tested here. The prototype is kind of gone through a number of different destructive testing.
Okay.
So we'll build one, and then we'll basically tear it apart. We'll find ways to destroy it and find the weak points, say, and then go back and forth. So we don't like to say exactly how many we've made. So
right. Gosh, there must have been a lot of headaches along the way.
every day. Every day. But it's not like a headache. It's more like you look forward to something that's going to be, what are we going to find today? It's like treasure hunting in a way.
Yeah.
But it's not something that, like, you don't want to put something out there and then it come back and say, oh well, look, it broke it right here.
Right.
No, we're going to find the place where it's going to break now.
Yeah.
And then we're going to fix it, and then we go on. So that's kind of it's a never ending kind of thing, which is kind of fun.
Right. Yeah. No, at the same time, you have to have a team like going to countries and talking about the product, and like not demonstrating. I don't know if you could do that, but to give, let them know what the benefits are, and your salespeople, all of that, right?
Yeah, it's right now we're in B2B. I'm not sure if your audience knows that, but it's business to business, or it's business to B to government level.
Okay.
Where we look at for like Canadian embassies around the world. They rely on electricity. They cannot be without communication. We look at other different things like hospitals. We look at, and it's not just hurricanes or that type of weather thing. It's also earthquakes too.
Right. Okay.
This thing is designed to, stay together. I mean, you're not going to, I don't think you can build anything that's absolutely 100%, hurricane proof or earthquake proof. But if you can engineer something that's cost effective, but is kind of designed to be resilient up to a certain level, your chances of survival are pretty good.
Very
And
good.
this is where we in our sales, we look at this. We're not overstating anything that is going to be construed as being proof of. It's impossible.
Right.
So we're going to give you the best possible thing that's engineered out there that will be close to 100%, but we won't get 100% proof.
Right. Now, as a president and the CEO, are you out there? Are you contacting, or are you ever contacting the embassies or the different governments?
Oh, that's my job.
Okay.
Yeah, I try and stay out of the engineering part of it. That's no. That's why I kind of stay in the face of I'm trying to find more people that are interested in this type of a career, that are either in sales or they like contacting government entities and this kind of going forward, considering the state of the climate and the changes that are happening, and saving lives, and providing power to places that it's going to be, there's going to be a problem eventually.
More important.
Part of our marketing and part of our market research has been, what's the frequency of hurricanes, hitting the same place twice. And we found that every 4 years, the same place will get hit on average and completely well. So this is the issues that they keep coming up with, people that try to put solar panels on the roof of the houses in the States, in Florida, Louisiana, this type of areas as well. They have big problems where it's either going to be a tornado, it's going to be a hurricane, or it's going to be something. Bahamas are kind of the same, they roll through there, and they're going to destroy a bunch of stuff.
Right.
And Mexico, like Otis today, is having its way with Acapulco area.
Yeah.
And if you just go up the road, Puerto Vallarta had one not too long ago, and if you keep going, like these severe weather events are just literally miles away from the next one. So
right. And we're getting more as storms or natural disasters in places that traditionally didn't have them.
Oh, absolutely. I have friends in Halifax, and the parks down by the water, completely wiped out.
Right.
Trees flattened, hurricanes rolling through there. They're down to category 1 or whatever. And one just rolled through this summer.
Yeah.
They keep, New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, you wouldn't think those would be the big places for hurricane hits, but they're becoming more and more problematic. They're becoming more frequent, and they're larger, and they're, so if you are, if you have a facility like a hospital or a EMS or a police station or something that's fairly, remote or off the grid, that can't actually be repaired quickly, then this might be an option for a lot of people.
Right.
The whole year long, it generates power out onto the grid or into batteries or to whatever. But you're going to get a good ROI. At the same time, you have comfort in your mind that, if anything does roll through here, we're fine.
Right.
Until we get repaired. And that's it.
Very good. Well, I'm going to end there. So just stay on camera. Just to the audience, you've been listening to Derrick Garland, President CEO at Terrasol Energy International Inc. He's on Facebook. If you needed to contact him, I think that would be okay, right, Derrick?
Sure.
And
absolutely.
And if you're looking for a really awesome career opportunity to go to different countries or to talk to the governments, if that's your area, that something you would like to do, or maybe have some experience in, that would probably help tremendously. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching the show. I hope you continue to do so. Take care and peace out.
a sense of community. Chilliwack's a place to be, a sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see.